Hello, welcome to Meta Perfume. I am Emily here again today with Twixie. And I reviewed this floral sampler from Granado that I picked up in Sao Paulo last time. It was my last video. And today I'm going to review the other sampler that I got from the same store under a different brand called Phebo Perfumeria, the Edição Florais collection. I'm not sure about that pronunciation, but I think that's it. So this one is definitely my favorite of the two samplers. They both say Florais, but I wouldn't say this is a particularly floral set of fragrances, so maybe a little misleading, but there are 5 fragrances in here and some of them are fantastic. Like, there's a sampler and I'm probably going to go through 2 of these samples and try to buy full bottles if I can get them online. But let's get into it. So this sampler has some unisex fragrances and some, they might all be marketed as unisex actually. But the 2 that are my favorites, I think, are a little more feminine leaning, although they're not incredibly feminine or floral. They're a little more citrusy. And so those could potentially be worn by a man too. The Ginger, I'll start with this one. This one to me is just a little more masculine, just a tad bit more masculine than feminine. But it's a really nice, and I actually think this would smell really good on a guy. And it smells really good just generally. It's a ginger, well, ginger is what I thought it was. And it actually smells a bit like ginger to me, but there's no ginger listed in the notes, which is interesting. So the top notes on the ginger fragrance are mango, violet leaf, and pink pepper. And then in the middle, mango tree, interesting, no, peony and seaweed. And then in the base, cashmere, copaiba balm, and vetiver. So this is a really unique fragrance. I have never heard of mango tree as a note or copaiba balm. I mean, this is a Brazilian fragrance company, so you know they have access to different notes in Brazil. This is a really nice fragrance. I want to have my boyfriend or my fiance try it on and see if he likes it too, because it's just nice. It's uplifting. It does have like the name and the the scent do remind me of ginger, but apparently that's not in here. So it's just reminiscent of ginger. It doesn't smell fruity. It's interesting. I mean, the notes in here, being that there's no ginger, are just interesting. It's a fascinating combination of sweet and savory notes, with the pink pepper and the seaweed and the vetiver being a little more masculine, I think, and then the mango and the peony. I mean, I can kind of get the mango in the top, but it's mild. Yeah, this is a really interesting fragrance. Ginger is a good one. I'd say that the longevity is moderate. It's not an overpowering fragrance. This is going to be good for warm weather. It's going to be good for daytime. You could probably wear this day to night. And again, men or women could wear this. It's just tiny bit more masculine to my nose than feminine, but very interesting. So ginger, smells like ginger, has no ginger, has a bunch of interesting notes. It's a nice fragrance. Definitely gonna let my fiance check that out. Next, the bronze is another fragrance. Now these are definitely unisex fragrances. And this one I expected with the name of bronze to be more like summery or more like, I don't know, coconutty maybe, but it's not. It's the top notes are rum, neroli, and bergamot. The middle notes are sandalwood, heliotrope, Gaiac wood, sandalwood, heliotrope, and gaiac wood in the middle. And then the base is vanilla, amber, and musk. And the amber, to me, is more prominent in the base than the other notes. I get a little bit of the musk and the vanilla, but the amber comes through. The heliotrope gives it a little powderiness, that middle note. It's not, I mean, it has woods in it. Let's see. But it's not primarily woody. It's got a complex mix of notes in here with the wood, the rum, the neroli. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, if there weren't so many amazing fragrances in here, it could be a favorite, but there's some really excellent ones that I will get to. So I'm gonna say I like this one just a tad bit less than the ginger, but it's still nice. It's still interesting with the rum, neroli, and bergamot on the top. I guess it does have a little bit of like a summery coconutty thing happening, but there's no coconut in it, which is nice because I don't really care for coconut notes in fragrances. It's like one of those fragrances that has no stars of the show, but like a kind of an equal amount of a lot of different notes that give it a pretty unique character. So you're not like pulling out specific notes like this is overpowering, you know, this is overpowered by amber or whatever. Yeah, it's got a slight powderiness, like coziness with the vanilla and the amber and the musk. That's nice. I think this would be better for a little bit cooler weather than the ginger. Could go day to night, and that's kind of light. This one, I think the longevity is a little bit better. The projection is a little bit better. And it's, yeah, it could be more of an evening fragrance, I think, than a daytime fragrance. So that's bronze. Bronze, also a nice fragrance, a unisex fragrance. Interesting. Rum, I would say I pull out the rum, the heliotrope balanced equally with the woods, and then the musk, or I'm sorry, the amber, and then I can get a little bit of that vanilla, and the musk to warms it up a little bit too. So yeah, another interesting one. Bronze, Phebo. Deja Vu is the third one I will talk about. Now this one is interesting. I feel like they intentionally named it Deja Vu because it is sort of a retro or like referencing kind of popular historical fragrance trends. It's also I got a good deal of amber and I'll just give you the notes. So the top notes are bergamot, jasmine, and pear. And I would say it's a mid and base heavy fragrance. Those notes do not pop out to me when I'm smelling this scent. Okay, I'm gonna put this one. I'll put it on my wrist. Okay. Oh. My notes died. Okay. The middle notes are amber, amberwood, and green leaves. And then the base is musk, flowers, a generic flowers note, oak moss, and balsamic notes. So this one to me is my least favorite. I do get that it's kind of like a retro, not old fashioned, but maybe like I don't know. There's too much amber in it for me. That's my problem with it. If you like an amber fragrance and oak moss, the oak moss isn't bad, but that combination definitely screams like retro. So I think the name Deja Vu for this one is fitting. And I do think it's a little bit more masculine to my nose, but it's pretty even. It's not very masculine. Yeah, I guess, for me, the issue with this one is I'm not that into amber. I'm not into amber enough and oak moss enough. And it's just not my speed. But it's not a bad fragrance. The longevity is moderate. The projection is kind of low to moderate, I'd say. if you like these notes, maybe check it out, but expect primarily an amber fragrance with a little oak moss and musk to complement it. So definitely has kind of a retro vibe. Now, oh, these last two. I'll start with this one. This is Bello Pomelo, and if you watch a lot of my videos, you may know that I am a huge Pomelo fan. So it's my favorite citrus. I know, like, the Pomelo Paradis by Atelier Cologne is one of my favorites, but that I think is just named pomelo. It doesn't actually have pomelo in the notes, and it's very grapefruity. So I know grapefruits resemble pomelos, they're a little bit smaller, but they don't taste or smell very much alike. I love the Pomelo Paradis by Atelier Cologne. I love grapefruit scents, but this one actually has pomelo note in it, and it's really, really nice. It's like, this is a summer fragrance. I would say summer, it could go spring. It's a warm weather fragrance because it's very light. It's probably not going to stand up very well in cooler weather, or even in like nighttime. Like below 75, I'd say you're gonna get less of this, and it's sort of a delicate, sensual, sweet citrus fragrance that's not, it's unique. It's not like other citruses that I do love a citrus fragrance. I really love lime, love grapefruit in fragrances, but this is a little bit different. So the top notes on this one are pomelo, grapefruit, pink pepper, and mandarin orange. It's really nice. Middle notes are violet, saffron, and iris, which, like, it's a smaller component. I'd say it's not real heavy. I wouldn't pull out any of those notes. Sometimes I have a little problem with a saffron note, but this is just a tiny bit of it, apparently, or like whatever they're using for it. I don't mind it at all. And then the base is musk, moss, and amber, and I was a little surprised to see the amber. I think that's because it's such a light fragrance, they're giving it a little better longevity with that, but it doesn't scream amber. It doesn't have a prominent amber note. It's just there with the musk and the moss, and the top is really kind of the main part of this fragrance. The pomelo, grapefruit, pink pepper, and mandarin. It's just really, really, really nice. And I'm on the fence about purchasing this one because I know I'm going to purchase the next one that I'm going to talk about because it's super, super, super nice. And yeah, I'll just go into that one in a second. But this one is also very high on my list, and potentially will purchase this if I finish up this sampler relatively quick. I can't really see how much I've gotten down, but it's about there. All right, one more spray. Oh, I sprayed it in my face. It smells so good, it's okay. Anyway, that is the Bello Pomelo by Phebo. Definitely an awesome fragrance. Oh my gosh, there is a hummingbird that is preening itself outside. It's landed. It's got such a long little beak. Oh my god. Wait, anyway, sorry. I have like a tree in front of my window that I film in, and this hummingbird isn't flying around, it's just sitting on the tree. Okay, it flew away. That's just weird. Anyway, sorry. Bello Pomelo, beautiful. Last one I have is this Isolda Cajueiro. Isolda Cajueiro. I'll say it. The spelling is Cajueiro. And this is my absolute favorite. I'm definitely going to try and find a full bottle of this to purchase. It is a unique fragrance. I would say there are some similarities to this. It seems like a slightly more intense version of this one because there's a bit of overlap in the notes. Well, not much really, but there's somehow a similarity. And while this one is more heavy in the citrus and it is a very light and kind of airy, pretty sexy citrus. This one has got a bit better staying power. It's a bit stronger. The projection is a bit better, and the notes are really interesting. So I sold the Cajueiro. I think Cajueiro probably means cashew, because in the top notes are cashew, apple, and bergamot. And if I didn't look up the notes, I would not have said this smells like cashews, because it doesn't smell like the dried cashew nut product that we have. And in the picture, they show this is a cashew, right? That's a plant. It looks, I haven't seen it in real life, but that's the nut part, and then the plant part is there. So I'm not sure what part of the plant they're using, of the cashew plant, for this fragrance. That is with apple and bergamot, cashew, apple, bergamot, and the apple is also like detectable and delicious and yummy. The middle notes are freesia, orange blossom, and rose. So this one definitely leans a little more feminine. I don't know if it's marketed to men and women, but I would say this is pretty feminine fragrance. Those florals complement the top so nicely. There's not like a pronounced orange blossom, rose, or freesia note in there. It's just like a nice mixture of those three. And then the base has got musk, amber, and coumarin. And again, I was a little surprised by the amber, but obviously they're trying to give it a little more anchor. I like that. The musk it's just slightly there. It's really about the apple, the cashew, the floral component, and it's just, oh my gosh. Oh, I know, I just sprayed a bunch of stuff everywhere. Okay, I'll do it here. Yeah, I'm getting this one. I'm definitely getting this one. If anybody has smelled this fragrance, I know these fragrances, like, if you're a Brazilian person, you probably, I would say you probably know about this. But if you aren't from Brazil, have you smelled this fragrance? Do you know about this? It's really awesome, and I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you try it out. And that's that. That's my sampler for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. Please subscribe if you haven't. That would be fantastic. I'm so thankful to everybody who's subscribed. I hit my 1,000 subscriber threshold. Now I just gotta get those watch hours up. So yeah, that's my goal. Keep going. Oh, it's a slog because I'm kind of lazy about it, and I have a full-time job. Anyway, enough about that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.